Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I come bearing offerings to the almighty viewer gods as I have come up with a theme. You have? I have, yes. I have officially come up with a theme for this series and I am excited to share it with you all. But before we get into it, I am sorry for my absence. Minecraft and OBS stopped working the right way and took some time to figure it out. I also have real life attendings that take precedent over my creative projects, but I did learn a lot making this video, especially in Blender where I made the little animation that we saw before. Anyways, it took me some time to think of something that was enjoyable to me, but also new enough where I wouldn't get bored. So I said, hey, why not just take some inspo from some old worlds? And that is what I will be doing. I did take a look back, but sadly, many of the worlds that I have played on, I don't have access to, and the screenshots from that didn't transfer when my computer blue screened. But anyways, the most recent one had a more Nordic vibe to the buildings and area. It was peaceful and really gave me the push to work with textures. So here's a little snippet. I really had only gotten to do the front of the town with the animal pens and blacksmith, but I had really big plans to finish it. But due to the update and me losing all of my items, I kind of just lost motivation to keep going, and I ended up making this new world that I'm playing on right now. For this world, I went with a structured kind of style for the building, something that's practical and useful and that you would probably see in real life. It was a lot of fun, but sadly, I had to put that world to rest as I really did lose motivation for it, but it's still a world that'll hold dear to my heart. This next one, I did not have a theme except for circles and blackstone. So the world is built on a mushroom island that I pretty much tried looking for as soon as I spawned, and I kind of just went with that. One of my favorite parts about it was the storage that I had and that I could just keep it out in the open without fear of creepers or mobs trying to mess with it. I also built a little cat animal sanctuary where all the cats that I had found could live peacefully and happily, and there is some lore with them, but I won't get into that today. I had a lot of fun working with different blocks that I had never really used before, like the quartz and the blackstone, but it definitely could use some improvements as, again, I wasn't really the best at building. Now, this last world was the world that I started going into different shapes and textures. Sadly, I don't really have many screenshots of it as it was a very quick server that I had with my friends. It got overrun by some people because I didn't have the right sort of protections for the server. The next images that you see are images that I'm going to be taking inspiration from. As you can see, a lot of them have green in it and a lot of nature as well. And so I'm trying to go for a more overgrown look this time, but I'm really hoping that these kind of show you the vibe that I want to get in this next build. And now for the moment you all have been so patiently waiting for. The theme for this world is fantasy biome. It may not sound the most crazy, but it's definitely something that I think fits in with stuff that I've done in the past and what I want to continue working on in the future. I think it'll be a fun idea, and I will have to start thinking outside of the box to give it a more otherworldly feel. Now that the hard part is out of the way, let's get to cracking and start on our base of operations. Some parts of the rest of this video will be fast forwarded due to corrupted footage with the recording software I use as mentioned previously. I decided to go with oak for the flooring as the walls were going to be made of spruce and I wanted a decent contrast between the two. For this first section of the house, I used spruce and mangrove wood. I think the red will help with contrasting against the rest of the colors, especially because it's a good design element that works well with characters, home decoration, and much more. The only name I know this phenomenon by is the unexpected red theory, because frankly, I have no clue what it was called before, or even if it had a name. The theory was coined by Taylor Simon, a Brooklyn TikToker who works as an interior designer. The theory suggests that because the color red is often referred to as intense, it will help bring to life and make vibrant a space or design. Red is also an eye-catching color, making it a good contrasting color when paired with other elements. I have used this theory in a few character designs myself for Dungeons & Dragons, but like I said, never knew the name of it till a few months ago. Anyways, back to the house. I kind of went into this with no design plan. I just knew I wanted it to be different from what I've done before and also have a lot of shapes and areas. Typically, I don't usually get around to building a base. I live out in the open with my chests and build other things I'm more interested in, but I actually felt like this would be a fun idea, so I gave it a shot. And no, literally, I live out in the open. For the 2 patches of dirt in the back, I plan on making the first section an open grassy bit, and then the next one to it sort of like a watchtower or lighthouse. The tower will also add perspective into the build as a height object, giving our build more dimension. As I got the main part of the base done, I went ahead and extended the roof so that I would cover the little balcony looking areas. As the next section would be made mostly of natural blocks, I gathered some mossy blocks in order to not have to run back and forth. And oh, there's the jump cut. Anyways, it's not very intricate, so I don't think you guys need a build process. I'm sorry. I even worked on the base of the tower, but then needed to go down into the caves to gather more resources. I wish to make this tower out of white block, so I needed diorite. Yes, diorite. I know it's an ugly block, but it works and it's cheap in order to build up the frame. I grabbed some granite for adding some gradient, and for some of the pathway I have yet to start. Went back to the amethyst geode found earlier in the caves and grabbed some calcite. Another jump, I added in some decoration and lighting as well, and also moved Princess and Greydar into their new home. As I went back out, I realized I used every space I had available, so I knew I needed to get this tower built so I can make it my storage area. But before that, I did some decoration on the outside of the house to give it a more overgrown feel. I think this helps to give the otherworldly feeling, as it's not normal to really have vines, bushes, and flowers growing on your roof. But I digress. It was a lot of fun and looked very pretty to me. Back to the tower. Here is the crust or shell, whatever you want to call it, that I started with the materials I had available to me. And guess what happened? Jump cut! Diorite, calcite, polished diorite with polished tuff and spruce for the top of it. Look at this beauty. And don't get me wrong, this is not my best work, but I was doing this all from memory, so I can't really fault myself too much. Once we hop down, you'll see I moved my chest and organized them, mostly. I started finishing off the outside to try and make it look better by adding a layer of spruce stairs, but realized it probably could use some red as well, so I went out to go chop down some of my mangrove tree. I head back, took a quick nap in the way, made some fences, and then officially finished off the mangrove bits for the build. And this is the final look of the build. I may change some things up later on, but for now, this will be sticking around. I am planning on making a miniature tour of the world so far and what I have done because of the amount of activities that I did that did not get recorded. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. The mini tour will be coming out fairly soon. And also, Happy New Year!